Hi, today I'm going to show you how we can integrate Airtable in Divhunt. In this example, we are going to integrate one simple blog. So we have a blog page here with a couple of posts, and we have a single page of that blog which has only title, description, date, image, and content. And in Airtable, that looks like this. So I created a table here, and if I open one blog, I can see this is like some content. We have author, we have status, we have a short description, we have slug. This is really important. You need to have slug field in your Airtable because this is a route of your page. We need to have this info in order to create a page properly. And we have some meta description, cover image. It doesn't matter, just a simple data. And here I created 4 blocks. So let's start. Here I already created my blog. I don't want to start doing everything from scratch now. I will just connect data in this video. If you want to learn how you can get to this point, you can check some of our previous videos. There's tutorials doing websites from scratch. We have sections. You can start from a template like I did in this example, and so on. In this tutorial, we are just connecting an Airtable. So let's start by doing that. Okay, first thing that we need to install is our REST API application because Airtable is working basically through REST. So we need to install REST, and then we will need to install plugin for Airtable. I will show you in a second. So we have REST installed now. Let's go to the plugins and install Airtable. And now I will get Airtable here under the plugins. Okay, so if I click now on Airtable, and now here we need to enter our API key from Airtable in order for a Divhunt to fetch data from your Airtable content. Okay, so let's go to our Airtable now. Click on your image here on the right, Developers Hub. We go to the personal access tokens. This is called tokens now in Airtable because API keys are going to be deleted in January. So we are using access tokens now, and let's create a new token. I already have one created, but I will show you in this example how we do it from scratch. So let's put it like this. From the scope, we need only read scopes. So we can put data record read and schema basis read because Divhunt only needs to read data, doesn't need to write or anything else. And for access, let's just put everything and let's click create a token. Now we take this copy and paste it in Divhunt, and now we should, if we refresh a page, we can see that here that our databases from Airtable are inside the Divhunt and can be used. Every time, one important note is, let me go back. If I'm only updating content here, for example, in order for my visitors of website to see this, all I need to do is to publish my website on Divhunt. We don't need to click here recache. This recache button is for new fields. For example, if you add new field here, in order for Divhunt to fetch that new field that exists, you need to recache and we will get that field. Or if you create a, I don't know, completely new base, you need to recache. But if you are just changing content or are adding new blogs, you don't need to recache every time. So this is good now. We have our Airtable here connected, and let's go back to our builder. Now what we need to do is we want this to be actual blocks. So this item div here needs to be repeating by amount of our blocks. So if we have 10 blocks in our table, we want 10 of these divs. So we will click on this div. Let's go to advanced here and select source, and we will see in this dropdown we have Airtable. So we have all tables that are coming from our Airtable database. So in here we need only blocks. We have limits, we have sorting options, we have filtering. I will not touch any of that. So you have a couple of filtering options. There's a lot of options you can choose from. I will just go by default now. And now I have 4 items here. That's the exactly amount of items I have here in Airtable. So we need to connect fields. So image, title, short description, and the actual link that will go to the single page. So let's start by title. Let's click on title. And here in our content, we have this button says plus var. If we click on that, we will see all data that is available to us. And we can see here in fields that we have slug, publish date, cover, all the info that is coming from Airtable. So let's just click on name. Here I can see a preview what I'm going to get. So if I click publish date, this is what I'm getting. So I will just click on name, I'm getting this, save, and now we have our blog names here. So let's click on the paragraph. This is like short description. We do the same process. So just save, done. Okay, so now we need to add image, and image is a bit tricky because we currently don't have that plus var button here in images, but we will add it in near future. But for now, what I can do in order to get data that I want to put inside, I can create a paragraph temporarily. So I will just duplicate this paragraph, and here what we are going to do is to get that image URL, and we will use that variable like this one and just copy paste it in our image field, and it is going to take images from Airtable. So how do we do that? You click on paragraph. Let's find our cover image. So here it is, and now you will see that I get this array. So this requires a bit of custom coding. Let me show you on JSON viewer. Just a second. So here is the data that we need to get. So we have our cover image contains this. So we need to get this link URL. So how do we do that? We need to get inside item 0, and then we need to catch URL. So how do we do that? We call a function here called index, and we went inside here index 0, and now we need to catch URL. So how do we catch URL? We call a function one more, get, and we set key to ins URL. Okay, so if I save now, I will get here URL, and now all I need to do is just to take all of this, copy, and then put it here instead of this image. So I can just paste it here, and it is going to call my image automatically. So let me just delete this paragraph, and now everything is perfect. Okay, now we have an images, and this page is ready. We will just need to connect this link to our single page, but we will do that in the end. So now we need to connect our single page. So if I click now on plus var here, you will see that I don't have any data. And this is because this page currently doesn't know where to take information from, because we didn't say to this page, you are a single page of our blog and I want you to take information from Airtable. So how do we do that? Let's go to the pages. On this blog single, let's go right click, set source to be blogs here. So we need to blog, put it like that, and now this page knows I'm taking information from Airtable of blocks. So if I click now again on heading 1, and if I click here, you will see now I get all of this data for this page. So now same process as before, we just connect the fields that we need to connect. So we have here name, just save. Here we have a short description. Now let's find short description. That's this one. And we have a date. Here it is. We have image. We need to do the same process that we did before. So let's duplicate this date. and let's try to get the image URL inside of that paragraph, and then we will copy paste it inside image. So let's find cover image here. We call a function index also again, and we now get field, get URL, and just save. And now I have my URL here. I will just copy all of this and put it inside my image. And now I have this image for my blog. And now we need content for that is coming from Airtable. So if I open this one, we need to catch all of this data. This is like markdown. If when I'm getting data from Airtable, that is like coming as markdown. So let's in order to create that, we need to do it through embed code. So let's start from scratch maybe. I will just create a new embed code here, and I will open it here, and here we need to get that data. Since we also don't have that plus var icon here, we need to do it the same way we did for an image. So let's temporarily just create a paragraph here that will fetch that content. So that's fields content, here it is. So this is the content. And now let's go to our embed code and paste it here. Okay, so if I paste it here, like this one, remove that paragraph, you will see that this now is coming as a plain text. Everything is like the same. It doesn't follow any structure that we created in Airtable. There's no headings, there's no nothing. And you will see if I zoom in, before this launch speed, we have two hash tags. This means this item, this launch speed should be heading 2. I will show you here. Which blog is it? Let me find it. Here it is. This is like heading 2. And how do we do that? Is we need to use plugin called markdown. So basically we need to convert this markdown to proper HTML. So let's install that plugin. So let's go to the plugins, search for markdown. Here it is, show down markdown to HTML. Let's install that. And now when we installed our plugin, all we need to do is to tell that plugin to convert our markdown to proper HTML in order to show our data correctly. So how do we do that? We go back to this embed code, open embed code, and just type arrow show down and save. And if I close now, you will see that my data is coming the correct way. Everything is there. And the only thing, if I want to style this data, I can do it through child selector. So how do we do that? This looks pretty fine now, but maybe I want to put our headings to be smaller and maybe different color. So how do we do that? We click on this embed and select here a child selector, this icon, and we target children inside of this embed code. So I want to target all heading 1, heading 2s inside this rich text, embed code. And let's put the size to be like 30 pixels. Preview is kinda buggy right now, so we'll fix this. So if I change now 30 pixels, it is going to change everything to be 30 pixels. But when I'm done editing, it is going to be shown correctly. So don't worry. If I click here now 30, it is going to increase everything to 30 pixels. And maybe I want my heading 2 to be, I don't know, this light blue color. And let's save. And now it shows my headings correctly. It seems a bit buggy. Maybe in the moment you are watching this should be fixed, but in general it is working. After you are done editing, everything is fine. So that's how you edit children. If you have some images inside, you can also edit images. You can target images from this child selector. You can target anything, lists, whatever you have. You can target anything and edit items inside this rich text. Embed code. So one more thing that we need to fix before we continue is this date. I don't like how this date is formatted. So let's go to the settings and call this plus var again. And how do we do this? We need to call again a function. One thing that I didn't say about functions are very powerful way to manipulate the data that is coming from to you. In this example, we see this date is poorly formatted, and I can use our functions to format that date correctly. And you can use this in whatever way you imagine, and you can also create your own functions through JavaScript files. We will explain that in another video, but just for you to know, we can create our own custom JavaScript function that will format this date in whatever way you like, and we will call that function before it is shown to users. So it will show correctly formatted way. For date, we already have a predefined date formatting. So let's call a function called date. And here I need to type, this is like PHP PHP date formatting. So letter D is day, letter M is month, and we want a comma after month, and we want a year. So I will just type it like this and save, and I will get this format. Okay, so that's all done. Only thing that we didn't connect maybe is this link. So let's connect this link to lead to our blog post page. We just to go select a page to blog. And let's swap a color now. Let's let it be white. And that's fine. We have our blog set up now. Only thing that is left to do is actually to link these buttons to other single pages. So how do we do that? We click on our link, go to the settings, select a page to link to our blog single. And now we go to the advanced tab, and here in route variables, we need to create a slug, key slug. And we need to enter here our slug that is coming from Airtable that we created at start. So we need to have that slug in Airtable because of this in order for our pages to work correctly. So let's make that. And now our routes are connected. But if I go now to this page, and if I click anything, any button, it doesn't work. It actually works, but it is leading to this only blog single. And that's because we didn't set up a route of our single page pages. So let's do that. We go to the pages, we have this blog single, and here we need to change this route. So we can put like slash post slash 2 dots slug. This is that dynamic variable that we are taking from Airtable, and now we basically say to this page you are going to have a link slash post slash that variable that is coming from Airtable. And now if I go back to blogs, and now if I click here, it is going to open with that blog. If I go back here and click on this one, it is going to open that blog, and our data is here, and everything is perfect. Okay, one more thing that we should do is to show only blogs that are ready to be seen by viewers. So in my collection on Airtable, I have this status field which sets to these items, and I want my viewers on a website to be only able to see published blogs. So let's put this one blog to be status to do, and let's go back to our list of blogs. And if I click now that blog where we set source to be taken from Airtable, let's go to advanced now, on the same place where we put all that data, and just set filters. Let's call a field status operator is equal to, and we type published and add. And now if I click save, it is going to show me only those 3 blogs that are actually published. Now if I go back and put this one also to be some other status, for example this one, if I refresh my builder, it is going to load me only those two left blocks. So hopefully this tutorial helps. This can be applied to anything. Maybe you are creating list of projects in Airtable. It doesn't need to be only a blog. You can create basically anything, and same story applies. Okay, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please post below in comments and we will answer it as soon as possible.